In a small village nestled among the hills of a faraway land, children spent their days helping their parents with farm work and other household chores. They did not have access to education, and so they remained illiterate and unable to do basic math. Their parents, who were also uneducated, did not realize the importance of education, and so the cycle of ignorance continued. One day, a wise old woman from another village visited the town. She saw the plight of the children and immediately knew that education was the key to their success. She gathered the village elders and convinced them to invest in building a school for the children. At first, many of the parents were skeptical. They did not see the value in sending their children to school when they could be helping with farm work or other household chores. But the wise old woman persisted, and eventually, the village elders convinced the parents to send their children to school. The school was built with the help of the entire village. The villagers worked together to gather materials, build the schoolhouse, and hire teachers. The children were excited to start attending classes, but they had no idea what to expect. On the first day of school, the children were amazed by what they saw. The schoolhouse was filled with books, pencils, and other school supplies. The teachers were kind and patient, and they worked hard to make sure that every child understood the lessons. At first, the children struggled to keep up with the lessons. They had never learned to read or write before, and they found it difficult to do basic math. But the teachers were patient, and they worked tirelessly to make sure that every child was learning. As the weeks turned into months, the children began to make progress. They learned to read, write, and do basic math. They started to understand the world around them in a way that they never had before. They began to dream of a better future for themselves and their families. Years went by, and the small village transformed into a thriving town. The once illiterate children had become successful adults, and the village had become a beacon of hope and progress for the entire region. Some of the children had become doctors, engineers, or teachers. Others had started their own businesses and created jobs for their community. The wise old woman's vision had come to fruition, and the village had become a shining example of what can be achieved when we invest in the education of our children. The parents who had once been skeptical were now proud of their educated children. They realized that education was the key to a better life, and they made sure that their grandchildren attended school as well. And so, the small village had been transformed by the power of education. The wise old woman's vision had changed the lives of the children and the entire village, and it would continue to do so for generations to come.